I'm Grellis The Soupsmith, and I'm here to try and teach you about some different spices and different ways to cook. A little bit about myself. I've been cooking for about 17 years professionally, and since I could walk, I've been in the kitchen with my grandmother and mother, learning from them. So it's important to cook what you like and eat what you like. Beyond that, spices help out to, if you're kind of stuck right now with some leftovers or some stuff that you want to use. I'm going to go over different things about spices and cooking. This is one of the biggest culinary influences for me is Alton Brown. If you ever have any questions or recipe you're looking for, I would suggest looking up his stuff. His show Good Eats is really entertaining right now if you're looking for something to binge. There's 5 tastes your tongue can detect or is sensitive to. There's the ones we know: salty, sour, bitter, sweet. There's also umami, which is defined as like a meaty or a savory flavor. Parmesan cheese and mushrooms are some of the major ones, as well as meat grilled that will have a umami flavor to it. When you're cooking, you want to try and balance all the flavors together, mix things together. You can come up with great combinations like spicy cheddar biscuits or chocolate covered bacon. That's my cat Gina. She's adorable. It's important to use fresh spices as often as you can, so that's why I like these graters. They can just grate as you go. Over time, due to exposure through light and air, spices will lose their potency, so that's why you want to, as often as you can, buy in smaller containers. Use up what you like. If you'd end up buying something in a larger container like this, you want to try and put it into smaller containers, or just be mindful that it'll lose its potency over time. You'll have to use more. Different types of salt. You're going to have your cooking salts, like here's is just a regular iodinized salt, sea salt, kosher salt, and then there's what's called finishing salts. Like this is a Himalayan sea salt a friend of mine picked up from me years ago, and this is a Celtic sea salt. They're going to lose their subtlety and flavor if you cook them too long, so you want to cook whatever you're making and then sprinkle in these at the end. It's very important that you taste your food while you're cooking or right before you serve it. Check it again and make sure that everything's right. It might be too salty or too spicy, and then you can still fix it before you decide to serve it or eat it. A great way to incorporate flavor is through marination. What you're going to want to do for that is get your spices, some sort of a liquid to kind of help spread the flavor around, and you're going to want to go for at least 2 hours when you marinate, up to 48 hours, but 24 is kind of the sweet spot. So maybe think ahead, thought whatever you're going to make, come up with a marinade. Something very simple a lot of people like to do is just marinate in maybe oil, salt, vinegar, garlic, and a little bit of hot pepper, or you could use Italian dressing as another one if you want to just start simple. You can also put your seasonings into the fat at the beginning when you're cooking. You want to get your fat hot and then put in the seasonings to help bloom or enhance the flavor. And when you're cooking, you want to avoid having too high of a temperature. So a lot of people will just set the temperature to 10 or max, whatever the setting is, and you'll notice it starts to smoke. You don't want that. You generally want to start in a 60 to 70% power, so maybe a medium high. Keep stirring it, watching it what you're doing, and it'll cook at a more even temperature, and you'll get a better flavor versus just having burnt spices on the outside, and then it will be still raw or cold in the middle. I hope to have helped you out a little bit, and I'm looking forward to teaching more about cooking and helping everyone get through some questions that they may have.